Let's talk to the man who heads up the Utah Utes. Kyle Whittingham joins us now as we have a first-round draft pick in Devin Lloyd from under Coach Whittingham coming to Duval. Welcome in. How are you, Coach?
Doing well, thank you. Appreciate you having me on.
No question. We're happy to have you because we want to get an idea from you just about the player, the individual that Devin Lloyd is. So let's just start there because fans are really stoked about him coming to Jacksonville.
Well, they should be. He's a terrific young man. Obviously, he's a great football player. There's no doubt about that. He was, just a tremendous asset to our team this year in that regard. But even more so, as a leader, as a person, he's you're going to be hard pressed to find a young man that's the whole package that Devin is. I mean, he's as good a player as he is. He's that good a person off the field. I know that little phrase gets worn out a little bit, but that's the truth. When we talk about Devin Lloyd, he's a special individual, and he just was so instrumental to our football team and to our success. It can't be overstated what he meant to us.
Hey, Kyle, it's Matt Hayes. Thanks so much for joining us. We've spoken prior about Devin Lloyd, and you told me he's like the microcosm of what you want your players to be as far as the guys on the field, physical, smart, knows where to be, knows what to do. Talk some about that, about how important he is to a team on the field.
Oh, just invaluable, like I said. I mean, and he would go into a game so well prepared. I mean, it just didn't happen by virtue of just instincts or luck. I mean, he studied film ad nauseum, and coaches hang around typically in the season 9, 10, 11 o'clock, and whenever I'd go downstairs late at night, he'd be in the film room, in the linebacker room, all by himself, just watching film or preparing, and he was one of those guys that's able to take his preparation in the film room and translate it into a game situation. And so he was he was a self-made guy at that. When we recruited him, he was a receiver and a DB in high school, and so he had very little linebacker background, if at all, and just made himself into one of the top linebackers in the country, if not the top linebacker this year.
Kyle Whittingham, head coach of the Utah Utes, Devin Lloyd's former college coach, joining us on the Farrah and Farrah phone line. And Kyle, one thing that's now been debated because the Jaguars also added Chad Muma, the linebacker out of Wyoming, in the third round, is where exactly Devin will be lining up. I spoke with him last week, and, we noted that he had 120 snaps off the edge for you guys this past fall. And I asked him, was that by design? Was that something he wanted to get involved in? And he kind of said the team needed me to rush the passer, so that's what I did. Where do you see him fitting in terms of stylistically for this Jaguars defense?
Well, that's one of his strengths. He can fit in a number of spots. He can play inside linebacker at a very high level. He could play on the edge as a Sam linebacker. He can be a pass rusher in sub packages. He's got a ton of versatility. And so, I can't tell you I'm real familiar with the scheme that Jacksonville is going to play this fall. I'm not sure, odd front, even front, or whatever they're going to do. But I can tell you right now that they'll find a spot for him, and it could be 2 or 3 different things that he could do in the schemes. But he's definitely a versatile guy, and he's going to excel wherever you put him. And we put him at all those places I just mentioned. We played inside backer, outside backer, defensive end, and he's going to be, just a terrific player no matter where he ends up. But that's one of his, with the limited rosters in the NFL, I know versatility is something that's very valuable, and he certainly brings that to the table.
Now, Coach, we got a relatively young team in Jacksonville right now, and Devin's coming into a relatively team who he's had a lot of success in college with the Utes. He's going to a franchise, quite frankly, that hasn't won a lot. I mean, do you think that he's going to get frustrated? If the season doesn't go around, is he going to be the type of guy that's going to be able to rally the troops? Exactly
the latter. He's not going to get frustrated. He's going to keep the ship righted, I guess you could say. And he's only a rookie. I understand that, but I believe he's going to have a stabilizing impact for the football team, and not much flusters him. He doesn't get frustrated. He doesn't get upset. He just keeps working. That's what he is. He's a self-made guy that has worked himself into the situation he's in now, and my guess is that he's going to just continue along that path.
We're talking with Kyle Whittingham, coach of the Utah Utes, and we want to kind of go big picture with a couple college football items and then also talk about you guys going up against the Gators. But one more on Devin before we get to some of those other things. When you think of a guy that comes in and takes charge immediately, you moved him from safety to linebacker. He took a leadership role. Can he do that on this level, do you believe?
I certainly believe that. Now, does it happen this year? The dynamics of an NFL football team. As a rookie, you gotta come in and it's great to be confident and that type of thing. But you don't want to overstep your bounds. I mean, you've got to earn your stripes, so to speak, in that league. And he certainly is an extremely intelligent young man. He's gonna know his role, but he's absolutely gonna be an asset to the team, like I said, and he's going to, as the years tick by, he's going to grow into, in my opinion, he'll be one of the best leaders on the team eventually.
Kyle, you've got a really good team this year. You'll be bringing your group to Gainesville to play, against the SEC in Week 1. Number one, how exciting is that for you? And number two, is it good to play a major team Week 1 to keep your guys focused throughout the offseason?
Yeah, there's a lot of argument for that. I mean, and as you go into a season, if you're playing a lesser opponent, sometimes, and particularly for a young team or a team that you're still trying to figure out who you are, that can be an advantage to kind of, I don't want to say ease into the season, but have a chance to work through some growing pains. But we've got a pretty veteran team coming back, and so I think if there ever was a year that we could have a situation to open up with a team like Florida, it'd probably be this year, and it has certainly got our guys' attention. I mean, you mentioned that's one thing that we don't have to spend 1 minute on is the anticipation for the season coming, because they know that the challenge right out of the gate is a big one, and so we got to be ready.
Kyle Whittingham, head coach of the Utah Utes, joining us on the Farrah and Farrah phone line. Coach, some new faces in the Pac-12. You got Mario leaving Oregon for Miami, Lincoln Riley coming into USC. How has that maybe kind of changed the dynamic, knowing the offenses and the defenses in Dan Lanning's case at Oregon that are now entering your conference as you guys get ready for the fall?
Yeah, well, there's certainly good coaches in this league, and we added more good coaches, and Lincoln's track record at Oklahoma was outstanding, and of course, we were able to watch those games throughout the year, so we got a good idea of what's coming there as far as offensive scheme, and a little more of a guesswork with Coach Lanning. I mean, he was a defensive guy at Georgia, and so, but we'll certainly have time to study what they're doing by the time we get to them, and I think that we're just it's just like any other year. You do your 2 or 3 or 4 game scouting report on whoever you're going to play, and we'll just have to see how things unfold. But it's not going to be. No one's going to reinvent football. I mean, the schemes are what they are, and we'll just adjust and adapt.
Mia mentioned the new blood in the conference, and you've been at that top post at Utah since Urban left. And we got to ask you, just from what you know of Urban Meyer, you came up through the ranks and you've held on to that job. Were you as surprised as anybody what happened this past year with him being here and not lasting through the full season?
Yeah, Urban's a terrific football coach. There's no doubt about it. I mean, his track record speaks for itself, obviously at the collegiate level. And got a lot of respect for him. We're still close friends, communicate with him fairly often. And it just almost was just the perfect storm. I mean, it was one of those situations where if something can go wrong, it's going to go wrong, and it seemed to happen, kind of have a snowball effect this year, and I just was, and I talked to him, before he, when he was getting ready for the season, and the NFL is a different animal, and there's going to be setbacks. It's not going to be quite what he had experienced in college, and he was ready for that. I don't think anything really took him by surprise, but it was certainly, like I said, just a unfortunate chain of events that just seemed to build on each other until it was just to the breaking point. But again, he's one of the most accomplished football coaches at the collegiate level ever. You look at his winning percentage and what he's done. So I don't think that this was one of those anomalies, I guess, but certainly has had a huge impact on collegiate football through the years.
Hey, Kyle, thanks so much for being so generous with your time. Real quick before you go, what's more difficult for you to deal with right now, the portal or NIL?
Flip a coin. They're both very challenging and have changed the dynamic of college football completely. And I mean completely. I mean, it's recruiting's changed. It's now all about, it's not what's your culture? What's your bowl record? What's this or that? It's what's in it for me with the NIL, and that's just how it is. And you either adapt or you die. I mean, you can't. It's not going to go away, and so you can't just sit there and say, well, we're not interested in guys that are only interested in NIL, because they're all interested in NIL to a certain extent. And then with the portal, you got to continue to, you not only have to recruit guys outside your program into your program, you got to recruit the guys in your program to stay. And so it's a constant battle, and it's changed the complexion and the face of college football and the way things operate. And it's not going away. It'd be nice to get some parameters set up so there's a little bit of, I guess guardrails on the NIL, but right now there's not. It seems to be whatever everything's legal. Apparently, anything goes, and so we're still all trying to figure it out. I don't think we're unique here at Utah. I mean, every coach in the country is trying to get a handle on this thing, and easier said than done, because right now, there's just so many unknowns and so many gray areas.
Yeah,
thanks, man.
Been described as the Wild Wild West, so that's pretty accurate.
Thank you, Kyle. Really appreciate it, man.
Yep. Okay, guys. Thank you.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye-bye.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye-bye.